back to Ring the Alarm. I'm Jaki-G here with my mentor, High V. How you doing today, Voltage?
Well, energy up. Woo!
So today we're going to be talking about how important it is to stay hydrated and drinking water.
Well, absolutely, because it fits into our sugar-savvy mentality. We have five very important principles, which are working out, eating sugar-savvy, affirmations, kindness and gratitude, and hydration. America, my darlings, you are dehydrated. Half the time when you think you're sleepy, tired, depressed, dehydrated. We need to drink at least 64 ounces of water a day. And to help that happen, we have something called our water bracelets. Do you have yours on today, Jackie?
I have them with me, absolutely. These are the 8 water bracelets that I wear every day. I'm not wearing them now because I have long sleeves, but I know how much water I'm drinking today. And the 8 ounces of water that you need to be drinking times the 8 glasses is 64 ounces of water per day. So each bracelet counts as 1 cup.
Absolutely. So they all start on whichever side you want. You can wear sparkly ones. Any kind of bracelets work, but this is a great tool to become more hydrated. So every time you have 8 ounces of water, you take it and put it on the other side. Now, at the end of the day, all 8 bracelets need to be on the opposite wrist, and then you know you're properly hydrated.
When you're drinking water, it's good to have an idea of what exactly you're drinking. So if you're drinking water, are you drinking tea? Are you drinking sweet tea? Are you drinking soda? Are you drinking sports drinks? Why don't we go into a clip that we have of us going into a local store, Starbucks, and sugar sleuthing one of their products. Take a look.
All right, super sweet Starbucks. Here we are in Starbucks doing a little undercover work. So I came in and I asked what their most popular drink was for the holidays. So I got some sort of a peppermint mocha something. We'll let you know exactly what it is. But more importantly, we're going to let you know exactly what's in it. So come on in with me. Let's play super sweet. 1, 2, 3. 1/2. Happy holidays!
So that's one of my favorite videos to go into to show you about what sugar sleuthing is. Voltage, why don't you talk about that for a little bit?
Well, we started coming up with our sugar sleuthing idea because people have no clue how much sugar is in everything. So we love doing our videos on the street and getting out there in real life and going into different places to kind of show what's going on. So even though we were very overtly showing how much sugar was in that product in Starbucks, everybody was kind of smiling because it was kind of on the down low. But it's important to understand what you were drinking, because when we say stay hydrated, we're talking about water, not SSBs. SSBs are sugar-sweetened beverages. And even though Coca-Cola and soda is on the down low, meaning people are drinking less soda, they're drinking more sports drinks and fruit juices, which brings us to our Sugar Shock board.
And if you have any free time, Sugar Shock with your friends and go into local businesses and get some normal products that you would get and start sugar sleuthing. It's a lot of fun to do.
And understand that the math is for every 4 grams of sugar, it's 1 teaspoon. They do everything in grams, and again, it's only to confuse you. It's not to help you. Yeah. So we want to break it down so you'll understand it.
So today we're doing sugar-sweetened beverages for our Sugar Shock. So let's start with a basic drink that everyone might have once in a while if they're craving something sweet. Like, I want an apple juice, for example. So 1 cup. Let's have 1 cup of Mott's apple juice right there in the corner.
Well, Mott's apple juice is really important because so many mothers specifically think that juice is healthy. It is not. Juice is exactly the same as drinking Coca-Cola or any other sugar-sweetened beverage, because once they take the fruit and the fiber out of it, our systems just can't handle it. So how much sugar is in that Mott's apple juice, my dear Jackie?
In that 8-ounce cup of Mott's apple juice, you have 28 grams of sugar.
Okay, but now we got to break this down. So everybody at home knows that this size here is approximately 8 ounces. Nobody, just very rarely do you drink 8 ounces of soda. So a Mott's apple juice, you would probably have at least twice that amount, which would bring this up to 14 teaspoons of sugar. Now, what's important to remember and what Sugar Savvy is built on, moderation of sugar, meaning anything above the amount I'm going to mention to you right now is what feeds cancer, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Anything over 24 grams of sugar in 24 hours. This is what 6 teaspoons, 24 grams of sugar looks like. In 2 servings of Mott's apple juice, which isn't 2 servings, it's 1, is over
14 teaspoons, right? You're going into 2 cups.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's important when we put our Sugar Shock board together, it could be very misleading if you looked at this and thought that it was only 28 grams of sugar, but you really got to get the numbers up there. And all of these are so much more. What else is up here, Jackie?
Yeah, but just start measuring how much you're actually drinking to actually shock yourself into how much sugar you actually consume.
Honestly, it's scary. It is truly scary. So what else is up here?
Say your child comes home from school and you're tired and they want a juice. Capri-Sun. I hear that's a big name, you know, and I used to drink it as a child.
Oh, that's that squishy one?
Yeah, the one in the
kids
pouch.
love that. They drive their parents crazy to buy that stuff. So what's in there, Jackie?
Well, we got 16 grams of sugar, which is 4 teaspoons.
And that's in the entire container or one serving in there?
That's 1 serving of the container. Yeah.
Do we have any idea how many servings are in a container?
Well, it's 1.
Okay, so what else do we have up here?
So another drink that's very common is the Sobe energy drink, which is the Sobe Citrus Energy. That has 63 grams of sugar.
How many?
63 grams of added sugar.
And how many are we supposed to have not over in a 24-hour period to not get cancer and heart disease?
I think it's 24.
So now, this is insanity. Sobe, 63 grams of sugar in 1 sitting. Do you understand? Anything over the 24 grams feeds cancer and heart disease. We're not trying to scare you, but we're really trying to prepare you to make sure you can raise your kids healthy and vibrant. It's scary.
Yeah,
what else is up here, Jackie?
That's almost 16 teaspoons of sugar. That's probably the worst thing on here. But everything is bad.
But you have to remember, if somebody likes sweet taste, this isn't the only thing you're having that has sugar.
Exactly.
Because you're having sugar in the breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And that's why America's type 2 diabetes is off the chain, cancer, heart disease. Sugar is bringing our country down. Yeah. And that's why we keep sugar shocking. What else is up here, Jackie? Because that's when you get to that one over there, it makes me crazy.
So let's go to the Glacial Vitamin Water Power Seed Dragon Fruit.
Vitamin water. Oh, the parents got so excited when vitamin water came out.
It has vitamins. It's so good. No, it's not.
No, it's not. It's scary. What's in there?
So in this 20-ounce bottle of Power Sea Dragon Fruit Vitamin Water, it's 32 grams of sugar.
32 grams of sugar. You're not supposed to go over 24. This is what moderation looks like. That has over twice the amount of sugar that you should have in an entire day. And your child is drinking vitamin water. It's not water and vitamins, it's sugar water. And that's what you really have to understand. What else do we have up there?
We have Red Bull. Red Bull's a big one. This is one that actually has just been recalled because of the toxins in the drink itself. And
having nothing to do with the sugar. You mean over that?
The sugar.
Right.
So you're having sugar, and then you're having the other chemicals that are in the sports drink.
And a lot of young kids I see drinking this all the time. And I think while you were in college, also was probably a big studying thing. What's the sugar content in there?
The sugar content in a Red Bull is 27 grams of sugar.
That is over the amount you can have moderately or safely in a 24-hour period.
And normally, if you're in college studying for an exam, you know you have more than one of those.
Oh, absolutely.
Definitely.
And what's that up there in the corner?
So, what's another good drink for some kids? People think Nesquik chocolate milk.
But again, this is the one that is very misleading because they have an 8-ounce serving, and that's what people look at, and they think that's the sugar grams. But that bottle actually has at least 3 servings in it. So it would be 3 times whatever it says up there. And what is that?
In this 8-ounce bottle of chocolate milk Nesquik, it's 29 grams.
Which is already over the 24 grams.
Over the 24 grams. Let's go down to the Snapple green tea. It's green tea, antioxidants. Oh, it's so healthy. I don't think so.
Well, remember, it was such a big deal in New York City schools because they took all the soda machines out and they were replaced with Snapple.
Right.
But now you're going to get the 411 of what really happened. What's in there, Jackie?
In the Snapple green iced tea, you have 30 grams of sugar, 7.5 teaspoons.
And that is the same as any other soda. So the whole idea of getting soda machines out and putting Snapple in meant absolutely nothing. That's why we educate to what SSB stands for. Sugar sweetened beverage, because they are all the same. Whether you're buying Tropicana fruit juice for your child or you're buying Coca-Cola or vitamin water, it is all the same.
But Voltage, what about all the benefits from any of these drinks? Does that outweigh anything?
Yes, that outweighs everything. One of the few things that just about every scientific study agrees upon is if you can stop drinking SSBs or stop drinking any liquid sugar, it is the quickest way to bring the consumption of sugar down and improve your health. There is no amount of added vitamins or anything else that can go into any of this drink that overshadows the fact that too much sugar is toxic. It's as simple as that.
So let's go down to the V8 Fusion drink.
That one makes me crazy.
And fruit juice.
Crazy.
It's a blueberry pomegranate fusion. And it has, in this 8-ounce bottle, 22 grams of sugar.
Except rarely is it an 8-ounce bottle. It's usually quite a bit larger than that. V8 has done an amazing job in connecting its name to being healthy for people to look at, to buy. So not only do you have sugar, excess sodium, it's just sugar water and sodium water. And the thing to remember, we need to drink water. People will drink this all day and then not drink water at all, which is why we started with showing people how to use bracelets to keep track of your sugar. And then we also do water bottle raffles and all kind of cute things. You just have to start trying it. People go, Voltage, I hate water. Then get true vitamin water. Can be simply getting water, we call it spa water. Put a container of water out and just drop some fruit in it. You don't eat the fruit, but the fruit just infuses into the water. And that can truly be another way to get your family to drink something, because so many families, they have Kool-Aid and Tang and all of those things in the home. And moms, you got to get that stuff out. You're killing your kids. You're hurting yourself. You're hurting everyone. I know that sounds crazy, but the science is there. That's why we wrote Sugar Savvy and everything that we do, because science is waking up. So our Sugar Shock board is shocking.
Yeah. And if you're saying fruit infusion, so something like Minute Maid lemonade wouldn't count?
No.
But it has lemons in it. Lemons is good for your body.
Well, maybe that's correct, but it's just squeezed lemon in. There's no fiber in there. And to be honest with you, the amount of sugar they add, it does not matter. Watch my lips. It does not matter. It's toxic. Wake up, please.
So in this Minute Maid lemonade, it has 27 grams of sugar. 27 grams. Okay, a better way to make a lemonade, if you do like drinking lemonade or iced tea, brew your own. Make it yourself. Control the sugar packets if you want to have any.
Or Truvia.
Or use Truvia or stevia.
Exactly.
These are the natural sugars, right?
Right.
So you can find different alternatives into doing things that you're used to, but in a healthier, sugar-savvy way.
Well, if you're not a sugar addict, and it's not the same thing, just like everybody's not alcoholic. Some people just overdrink alcohol. So not everyone is a sugar addict. I am. But even if you are not a sugar addict and you go, Voltage, moderation is the key to success. That's true. But you have to understand what moderation looks like. And what it looks like is nothing over 24 grams in 24 hours, which means all fruit juice and these sorts of things. Maybe you could take 3 or 4 sips and that's it for the day. But you must become aware and start taking, you have to take into consideration what you're doing constantly.
Right.
We've got to take our power back. We gave it away.
Of course. And, I'm glad you mentioned alcoholics and consuming alcohol in general, because a lot of people don't realize that when you're drinking things like Mike's Hard Lemonade, for example, this is one that we have on the board, you're not really paying attention into how much sugar is in the bottle. You're just like, oh, it has some alcohol, I want to get a little wavy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So,
which is not a problem if you're not an alcoholic.
If you're
enjoy
not an
it.
alcoholic and
enjoy
you
it.
just like to enjoy a drink every now and then,
absolutely.
Moderate, just be moderate about it. And I wanted to put Mike's Hard Lemonade on here because I have a lot of friends who do drink Mike's Hard Lemonade before they go out dancing.
Okay. What's in it?
So here's the problem. Mike's Hard Lemonade has 30 grams of sugar in one bottle.
So that right there takes you over the threshold of drinking responsibly in every sense of the word.
Absolutely.
Not cool.
And I've known people who drink more than one in one sitting. So, you know, you got to pick and choose, you know, your health or sickness.
And it's time for us to wake up. And that's what Energy Up Woo is. It's a wake-up call, and we're the Sugar Savvy Sisters educating you.
Ow. So now, we've known that this has become a problem, but now it's becoming a universal problem.
It's global.
It's become a global issue. So people from Czechoslovakia
Yes.
have followed Voltage these past few years and are promoting this new documentary called Sugar Blues. Here's a clip of their trailer. Take a look.
I'm shocked. They just diagnosed me with gestational diabetes. Me and my baby, we're in danger.
It's essential. The first step to curing diabetes is not to trust this system that you live under.
After doing 5,000 coronary bypass operations, I realized I was treating a biological problem with a mechanical solution. That's when I began to look back at what really was causing this problem so we could get to a cure.
You are what you eat and drink. It is that simple.
I tried to clear out sugar from our house, but suddenly I realized I don't know what else to eat and how to cook without sugar.
We are sugar-free. Bon appetit.
Velen is almost 2 years old. He does have a gene of diabetes. What about his brain? Is it okay?
The industry is spending hundreds of millions of dollars. In the first 3 days of the year, spends more on advertising than the U.S. government spends the entire year on public health and prevention campaigns.
What's the secret of our success with our children is never suppress. Just give them better sweets, the sugars from whole grain.
I invented the economics of sweetness. This wonderful thing given by God to humanity.
It's very difficult to accept that things can be prevented and people can be healthy and then people are not because of the interest of a few, maybe hundreds people.
Sugar can kill.
Sugar
can kill.
Everybody singing the sugar blues. The whole town is ringing. My loving man, sweet as can be, but the doggone fool turned sour on me.
So that was the trailer for Sugar Blues, the documentary coming out that's going to premiere in Copenhagen in the next few months. Voltage, what was the experience like being filmed by such an amazing crew that are so interested in this topic?
It was such an interesting time because it was at least almost 4 years ago. It was the same time that they were shooting us for Fed Up. So they were doing both at the same time. And when the crew tracked me down from Czechoslovakia, they had been looking for a program in America that had a medical study attached to it and was really seriously involved with sugar addiction. And our program really comes up a lot. And we know it's a global issue. It was so interesting because the crew from Czechoslovakia and everything that they shot with me, political correctness didn't play a role. Where in America, you have to kind of be careful what you say. You're concerned you're going to upset someone. Well, first of all, they could hardly speak English. So they had a crew of about 10 people. And we shot for 3 days all over New York. They even had me on Wall Street dressed in a gown, carrying a big container of sugar up to the offices of Goldman Sachs. I mean, they really, I'm so curious to see this film. And actually, it premieres in 2 weeks in Copenhagen. They wanted us to come, but we're going to wait because they're trying to also get into Sundance here and all the film festivals. So even though we're very proud of being in Fed Up, and it's a great film and recommend all of you to watch it, the one coming out of Europe, really, there was no, they just went at it in such a different way. As I said, it was almost 4 years ago. It's going to be Voltage Unplugged. So it really goes after addiction. And Sugar Blues is the book that it's built on. And if anybody out there has any interest in sugar addiction or how we ended up in this mess of sugar in this country, politically and every other way, read Sugar Blues. That was the book that educated me that sugar drove slavery. And it's still enslaving our country. No, it's heavy.
Is it hot in here?
It's serious.
Yeah. So that brings us to our next segment. Let's do our top 10 questions to assess if you're a sugar addict.
And these came out of my book, and for any of you that do read Reader's Digest, it was also excerpt in there. So we were very proud of that. So Jackie, let's hear this.
So these are the top 10 questions to figure out if you are addicted to sugar. Can you control food intake during meals but lose it when you start to snack?
Things that make you go, Have you tried to reduce the amount of sugar you consume with no luck whatsoever?
Once you taste bread, bagels, muffins, crackers, pasta, rice, do you go back for a second or maybe a third time?
If you reach for one cookie or chip, is the bag empty before you know it? Where did it go?
Do you need to eat something sweet when you finish eating? That was too salty. Cake?
Do you feel like eating sweets when you feel sad, depressed, confused?
Maybe it's time to go do something else.
I think so.
Do you feel guilty when you think about the amount of sweets and carbohydrates you've eaten? I'm so full.
I've heard that one. Can you skip dessert but empty the bread basket and the pasta platter every single time?
Do you look for sweet things to eat or drink?
Are you tired all the time?
Do you have coffee? Do you eat healthy around other people but lose it when you're alone? Are you a sneaker? Are you a food sneaker?
And so many people are. So if you answered yes to 3 of those questions, it means there's a good chance that you are a sugar addict. If you answer yes to just 1 or 2, you probably have some sugar issues, but you better look into it and you better educate yourself to what living sugar moderate really means.
And the best way to kick off your new lifestyle into changing what you want to eat is by starting cooking for yourself. And the way we do that in the Sugar Savvy Solution is by doing a palate cleanse. And that's with the Soupalicious Recipe in the book. Here's a video of the Soupalicious Recipe and how you can make it at home yourselves.
Yum. Jaki-G, what are we up to?
So today we're making my favorite, Soupalicious.
Woo! All right, what do we have here, Jackie?
So today we went to the local farmer's market a few blocks away and we got some sweet potato, beets, broccoli, parsnips, and turnips.
All right, so we're going to take all of these amazing local vegetables and turn it into our Soupalicious.
It's great for a palate cleanse. Why not?
Energy up. Woo! I notice you're really scrubbing away over here.
It's really important to clean your vegetables so that way you can keep the skin on and take in all the nutrients.
So we're keeping the skin on but just scrubbing them clean.
Yep.
All right, cool. We mentioned we wait until the water is boiling before we start throwing the veggies in. So let's see what this is going to look like.
With our collection of wonderfully chopped vegetables.
Absolutely.
You have to be very careful in putting them in because the hot water will splash you, so gently.
So you don't splash yourself and burn yourself, correct?
Because that's very painful. So now we're just going to ladle in the cooked vegetables and the liquid into the blender.
Into the blender, and then we are going to absolutely liquefy it?
Oh yeah.
All right, let's get started. I always love keeping Soupalicious in the house, even if I'm not particularly doing the cleanse, just so I can get more veggies into my diet. So we recommend that for everyone, keeping a Soupalicious with various vegetables always in your home so you can up your veggie content. I always put it into a container like this so that we can keep it easily, you know, in the home, in the refrigerator. But I think it looks amazing. What do you think?
I'm really excited.
Are we getting ready to try our Soupalicious?
Oh yeah.
All right, my darling. Woo!
So that was one of our sugar savvy recipes, Soupalicious. It's for the palate cleanse, and the best way to do it is just go to your local farmers markets or vegetable store and get whatever veggies you can find and chop them up, clean them up well, keep the skin on, and then cook them all together. Voltage, why do we do a palate cleanse?
Well, it's almost virtually impossible to change what you love to eat because, again, Sugar Savvy is the only program where you can eat whatever you want. We're going to help you change what you want, but you can't change what you want if your taste buds are dead, meaning you're so used to eating salty, sugary, greasy, processed foods. You literally have to cleanse your palate. And that's why we came up with the Super Cleanse in the book. And if you really are serious about changing your life, if you're really serious about acquiring the ability to love real food, you need to cleanse the palate. You need to stay hydrated. You need to educate yourself as to what's going on in the food that you consume. But it's very hard to start anything without the palate cleanse. And every year it's the same thing. Oh, Voltage, just the holidays. I'm just going to eat everything in sight because somehow magically on the 1st of January, my whole life will change. You know that's crazy. It's insane. The definition of insanity is doing and saying the same thing over and over and over, and it doesn't work and it never will. So my challenge to all of you is to take our Sugar Savvy Challenge now. Go through the holiday sugar savvy and start the new year off fit, fabulous, and fierce for real.
And don't you forget it. Thank you for joining us on Ring the Alarm, our 3rd episode. Stay tuned for our next one and join us again. And don't forget to drink your water. And remember, I am happy, I am healthy, and I choose to be hydrated. Energy up. Woo! Yeah.